We're going to go into London Has Fallen. We're going to hear from Gerard Butler. Who definitely needs a better agent after this clip.
What are you guys so nervous about?
The Brits are world class. We all know their reputation. But still, these are the trips I hate. Last minute out of the country, no time to plan. Are you sure I can't talk you out of this?
And it's a state funeral. It's our oldest, strongest ally.
All right, spent half the night on the line with our advance team. Metropolitan Police will secure the perimeter of the funeral at St. Paul's Cathedral. Air Force One will land at Stansted Airport. On the ground, it's all Mike.
Touchdown. Then a 12-minute chopper ride to Somerset House. From there, we take an armored vehicle escort down Fleet Street to the cathedral.
You don't seem thrilled.
British have their hands full. 40 different countries with 40 different security teams.
Minimal flexibility on approach routes, funeral seating, egress.
Can we make it work?
Mike?
Always do, sir.
After the first movie, he's won his way back into the president's trust, and we see what an amazing individual he is, and he's a guy you want by your side, which he has now been with the president for a couple of years. But he has a kid on the way, and he has to reevaluate the situation. Does he really want to keep taking these risks? I think for him, he would gladly lay down his life for his country, but he's not thinking about him anymore. He has his wife, but especially a child on the way, and it's literally going to be born in a couple of weeks. So it was not a great start for him because he's composing his resignation letter as the movie starts because it's time to move on. And then, of course, he's called into one last project, one last action.
All right, Gerard, calm down. It's better to get a bit much there, wasn't it?
Screamed.
The next one! Just shut up, man. Right, let's just get into this. London Has Fallen. We weren't excited for this at all. Were our expectations met? Or better, or worse, and I don't know.
We weren't really excited for this at all. I mean, actually, I think we should clear something up. We have been mentioning in the trailer there was a bit of unfinished rendering.
Okay, yeah.
And it literally was. But in this film, it was.
It's finished. It is a wave.
It is just a wave.
Yeah. But in the trailer, it does look very, very suspicious.
Yeah, it looks suspicious, but it is just a shockwave.
Yeah,
if it's bad enough that we think it's a render box, then you know it's bad.
That's
CGI.
just one part of the CG, though, and I'm sure you're going to get to this. But anybody who's seen the trailer will have seen some very questionable helicopters.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's questionable. When you get to say that, questionable helicopters.
So
London Has Fallen.
Good band name, calling it.
Questionable helicopters. Yeah, so London Has Fallen is directed by Babak Najafi and is the sequel to Olympus Has Fallen, which obviously is. I don't know the right word for it, but it was sort of released in. There is a word for it for films that are released in the same sort of time period with extremely similar plots, like Armageddon and Deep Impact. I don't
know the word, but obviously, yeah.
Yeah, Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down were both extremely similar films, came out with a few months of each other.
Yeah. What? No, it's just like the sequel for White House Down. What's it gonna be?
White House Up?
White House Up.
Parliament. White House Up?
White House Left.
A rave at the White House. There you go.
Buckingham Palace Down or something.
Buckingham Palace Down? Party Down?
I would pay for that though.
Buckingham Palace Down? Yeah, I'd pay for that. Well, the Queen would just destroy everything.
So you can do like a prequel, you can like do Guy Fawkes, like Parliament Down or something like that.
Parliament Down. I'd watch that. Guy Fawkes film would be good. Yeah, so this time around we've got more Gerard Butler action. The president's obviously Aaron Eckhart, who plays a decent president, I think. He looks
smarmy enough.
I like Aaron Eckhart. Yeah. So in London, the Prime Minister has died suspiciously at the age of 48 with cardiac arrest. The Ministers of State have to go to London because there was a state funeral, and it's mysterious circumstances of the way he's died, and it's a must-attend event for all of the Western leaders. So from Japan's Prime Minister to the Italian President and all the people in between, all the big names of politics in the West, and it obviously. It's meant to be a massively protected event. However, Gerard Butler feels that something is going to go wrong, which it does, and then it all goes to crap, and it's up to Gerard Butler to save the president and save the day and stop nefarious terrorist and Babak. Well, yeah, what
was it? I can't remember.
Bakawi.
Bakawi.
Yeah, Babak Bakawi.
I just think a Freeman good Bakawi.
Yeah, but Bakawi, who is basically the nastiest man you can imagine and wants revenge for a drone attack on his daughter, which killed his daughter at her wedding 2 years later. Dramatic. London Has Fallen is a strange film because, I mean, it's the. I mean, obviously with films like this, with action films, you're always going to have the cookie cutter villains who are products of their time. Like in the 80s, it was the Russians, the Ruskies, and then before that, and even right now, it was like the Germans, that kind of thing. And then obviously there's been like the Russians and stuff like that. So they're always going to be products of their time.
So it's quite surprising now when they bring in the Syrians.
It's not surprising at all. I mean, actually, it's a massive surprise when they try to tie it to ISIS and the Syrian conflict and try to involve it in that kind of world events. But really, I mean, there's no sort of, I mean, it's not racist. I think that's the best way to put it, because it's more just insensitive. I guess that's the best way to put it.
While I don't think the film is racist, I think it is right-wing propaganda, and it's irresponsible, because this all the way through felt like a call to arms. This whole thing about setting up, there was certainly sort of like parts of the speech that kind of gave the image of Trump, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and putting walls around things, and it just felt very general in the bashing of Syria, and in this kind of time at the minute, a lot of mention of a war, a lot of mention of conflict. It felt too close to home, felt very on the nose, and I think, I mean, this is a very American film. It's very flag waving, gun toting, rock flag and eagle.
Absolutely, but after
right, Charlie.
after the obviously the central sort of tipping point that causes all of the plot to start, essentially, it does become a genuinely okay, interesting action flick. I mean, it is the perfect kind of film you want when you've had a few drinks, or you just got your mates in the background, or you want something to pass the time.
Are you speaking from experience here, Ryan?
Well, I think we all are, to be honest.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
But I mean, this is the kind of film that you want in the background. That's just dumb, mindless fun. I mean,
this wasn't in the background. We had to sit and watch this.
That's true, but I mean,
with no distractions. We were quite close to the front as well, so my neck was hurting a bit.
Yeah, it just tried.
There was literally no place I'd rather be than at home.
Yeah,
I didn't mind the film.
It does try to tie it in and make it a bit more emotional. Gerard Butler's character, Mike Bannon, the special agent, he's got a family at home. He's got a baby on the way, and then the president, played by Eckhart, Ben Asher, he's obviously a very astute man. He's been through the ringer already, and Olympus Has Fallen, so he's got experience in this, and he can hold his own a bit more on this one. But it is just obviously very derivative, but that is what you can expect in this sort of thing. It's not going to reinvent the wheel, but obviously when you have had things like Mad Max and John Wick,
it will blow up the
last
wheel,
year, which did really bring something new to the action genre. You kind of want a bit more.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing for me in this film is the fact that it eschewed the 12A and went for a straight 15, and that allowed for some bloodier moments.
I mean, there's an amazing line with Gerard Butler we can't say on air, but it's quite frankly incredible.
Oh yeah, it's a really, really good line, and that it allows the script to stretch a bit more and the action to be a bit more brutal. I guess that's the best way to put it, because it is really, really gory and visceral at times, and I like that about it, because it would have felt a bit washed out if it was a 12 and it wouldn't have felt. I think I would have really, really disliked it if it wasn't. But the rest of the supporting cast doing okay. I mean, Morgan Freeman is the president.
Sleepwalking.
It's kind of one of them rules that you just say, "Oh, okay, yeah." But I mean, and I do really think that it really does its job well, because Charlotte Riley's character Jacqueline has the best scene of the movie for me, because the 15 rating allows her to have a really tense scene in a car park, which I won't spoil, but that allows London Has Fallen to really stretch its potential to the biggest limits, because that it has embraced that 15 certificate in that moment. But apart from that, it's got some okay action. It's a decent, but there's nothing I didn't heavily dislike about it. It just sort of exists. It's heavily derivative of the genre. It's a lot of things that you've seen before. It's everything you expect from Gerard Butler's character. He's sweary, he's Scottish, he's a family man, and he's going to save the president. That's really all you need to know going into it, and it does exactly that. It's what you want from. If you're going into this film expecting Gerard Butler and the president to kick ass and save the world, well, save London and the president, then you save the world, I guess. Save the world. Then that's what you're going to get. But if you go into this expecting something that stretches the action genre a little bit more, then you're not going to get that.
Yeah.
But certainly not a terrible film. It just sort of exists.
Yeah.
Definitely
it's okay.
Definitely tolerate.
Definitely a film.
Yeah, I like Charlotte Riley. I like Gerard Butler just because he seemed like he was having fun with it and embracing the madness. Because he's not playing this serious. It's not like a serious film. It's just silly and fun. It cost $100 million though. I don't see where the money went. The CG was pretty appalling throughout, and I think the effect worked best when they were practical, when there were real explosions and stuff. But
yeah, I must say,
you could just tell the difference. You could see the difference. I mean,
the director is Swedish, and he's primarily a cinematographer, and I was a little bit impressed with some of the direction. I mean, there was some nice sweeping vistas.
Some of the action scenes were too dark and too frenetic. to even hold any kind of interest.
I think it was. I mean, for what it was worth, I thought it was okay in that sense. But yeah, I mean, it's
very loud.
It's an okay watch. It really is. I mean, Gerard Butler's. I think he really holds it up well. He's really brutal, and obviously the 15 rating allows him and everyone else involved in the story to be the brutal sense that they wanted, to bring the violence that needs to be. Would have felt very diluted or very sort of tepid if it was a 12A.
Yeah.
But to its credit, it is a 15. It allows you to see that violence and allows you to get involved. But you just the villains are just exactly what you expect from them.
Yeah, and I do think it's very irresponsible. I think left-wing audiences will not like it. I think right-wing audiences in America will lap it up, but that is just, it's not my bearing to say.
No, not at all.
It's not.
But yeah, I would recommend this if you want to see a loud action film in the cinema now.
Yeah,
Because there aren't any
banging
others.
one.
To its credit, it's very loud and very vibraty walls.
It didn't send me to sleep.
No, it did send me to sleep, but not for very long because I kept getting woken up by. Anyway, that was London's Fallen. We've already kind of said what kind of audience it's for, but would you recommend it?